we're back. Another edition of Coach Speak. Good times abound. Man, getting late in the year, fellas. I'm going to miss this when this goes away. I love this weekly get-together where we laugh at the coaches and we have a good time. Sometimes we celebrate them, whatever it might be. Of course, it's all brought to you by our friends right there, Artezia Water, arteziawater.com. Just had a big glass myself, by the way. Local source, local service, local story. What more could you want? By the way, guys, we didn't know it at the time. We probably should have trusted it. We can sell some water. Those guys don't have enough water. We're selling so much water. It's amazing.
We're going to run them dry over there.
We're run out of water at Artezia, guys. This is how big Coach Speak has gotten. So that's a good thing.
And just throwing this out there, there are some silly college basketball coaches. So just let that sit in the background. Right. Let that ruminate a little bit. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
I like the way that you tease the audience there, Ira. Good job, buddy. They thought it was going to go away. We were all going to be sad. Oh, no. We keep this puppy rolling year round. Let's go. Sell some more water. That's Ira. That's Corey. I'm Jeff. Ben's producing as usual, which is a good thing. And we've got our first clip coming at you right now. Ben, fire away. Who's up?
Hey, guys, this kind of sucks. We lost one of our frequent guests on Coach Speak as Jimbo Fisher was fired. He's laughing all the way to the bank, though, of course. But it's kind of crazy. At least this is what Jimbo thinks about it. They were just a couple plays away from the playoffs, guys. How did he get fired?
That close.
Night like tonight where you're using your third-string quarterback and you play as well as you do, does it just make this season just that much more frustrating and head-scratching for you?
No, it's not frustrating. I mean, disappointing at times. Like I said, we're 3 or 4 plays from playing in a playoff spot. But that's we got to put that past us and got to grow from it and learn from it for next year. But we got to finish out this year. Right there, we're 6-4. Need to be the best 7-4 team in the country and the best 8-4 team in the country. That's our goal, and it's what we can control right now. But no, I don't dwell on those things right now. I live in the moment, and that's getting ready. We're ready to play Abilene Christian next week.
What are those 3 or 4 plays that would have got them in the playoff?
And were they all in the Miami game when they got boat raced?
Yeah, if the Miami team had, if their bus had broken down on the highway from Coral Gables, that's one play right there. That's one play. They forfeit. Then you have to play them. You're 1-0 right there.
I like the way you do that, Corey. That way you don't have to focus on individual plays. You just take big picture approach and say, what if they didn't get to the stadium?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Once they got to the stadium, that offense, Texas A&M's offense, they were 40 plays away, probably 40 to 50 plays away from being a playoff team.
So maybe you just misspoke?
Yeah,
3 or 4, 30 or 40 plays away.
30 or 40 plays away.
Did you notice, and it's tried and true, it is something that we have experience having covered Jimbo here in Tallahassee for those that aren't Noles and are watching our affinity for covering Jimbo. I would say that, did you see the eye dart around the room when he posited to the world that they're only a few plays away from making the playoff, and the quick eye dart because he knows how absurd that comment is. He wants to see, is there anybody in this room that's going to call me on that?
Is anyone buying this? Do you think he brought that up when they called him in to fire him the next morning? Because they said Russ Bjork said that it was kind of a quick, cordial conversation. So I guess they didn't allow him to present his case. That they
no retorts. It doesn't appear. There are rumors that he was told prior to the game against Mississippi State that this would be his last.
It's weird that he would have taken part in the press conference then. That's odd. It's odd to keep talking as if you're still the coach if you're not the coach. He wasn't contractually obligated to do that.
It was a pitch, Corey. It was a pitch. We're only 3 or 4 plays away, guys.
Yeah, he got that.
You want to do this to me?
Yeah. I got to say it. And if I'm not here for Abilene Christian, just know I got this team revved up. They're going to beat Abilene Christian now.
This close.
I did like when the questioner asked him, does that represent just the frustration of the season? And Jimbo was like, no, not frustration. I'm getting $76 million to walk out this door.
Yeah.
There is no frustration here, buddy.
I still got a ring. It's from 10 years ago, but I got a ring. There's no frustration here.
I'm going to ride my horse, stare at my ring, from one ranch to the other.
Yeah.
From now until eternity.
Also,
over.
And we don't need to kick any more dirt on Jimbo. It's plenty of dirt that's already been kicked on him. But why? How can you say, other than you're being stubbornly obstinate, to say it's not frustrating? It doesn't make you look weak, Jimbo, to admit that this season has been frustrating. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. And the fans got to hear, no, I'm not frustrated. I live in the moment. We're trying to be the best 8-4 team we can be.
I think
he's great.
I think he should have said, "Have you ever seen a cow bathe in $100 bills?" Because
I'm fixing to find out.
we're about to see that on one of my ranches.
He should start an Instagram account, and the only pictures that he posts are pictures of something bathed in money. Himself
Farm
in a
animal.
bathtub,
Yeah.
a horse, a cow.
Yeah.
He could be looking at wind chimes
Stables.
on his porch with money intertwined.
Horse stables, and all you see is the horses' heads and just cash surrounding them.
Yeah.
Like a suit made of money. Like a nude, almost a nude suit with just
Like
dollar
the $1 Million
bills covered his
Man from
nipples.
back in the days of wrestling.
go.
That's what he should do from here on out. All right, Ben, coach number 2.
All right, we checked in on Jimbo. We got to check in on our friends in Gainesville now. Billy Napier. The Gators are probably 99.9% chance not going to make a bowl game this year. But don't worry, though. Coach Napier says they are in the middle of the process.
The 2 coaches fired in the last 2 days, one of them with a crazy buyout, one of them without even a year on the job. Is that like life in the SEC at this level? You just got to kind of, that comes with the territory?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been that way in this league for a long time, right? So, and look, I think, you know what you sign up for. I think we all do. But, I mean, it's part of life, right? I mean, no different, The AP decides they're going to fire you one day. It comes with the territory, right? So, we all have a job to do, right? And ultimately, I think you view it as a challenge. You view it as an opportunity. And look, I think these are well thought out decisions. You don't just flip a coin and decide to be the head coach of the Florida Gators. I think for me, you go into it with a strategy and a plan. You adapt, you evolve, you adjust. And we're in the middle of our process, right? So, it's been happening for a long time that way.
If you're thinking about firing me, please don't. I'm only in the middle of my plan, guys.
I'm adapting.
Only in the middle.
I'm adapting and adjusting as I speak. I'm adapting and adjusting.
I also like the life cycle of like an embattled coach, where we're at the point now we're not ready to ask him, "Are you worried about your job?"
Right.
We're asking him like, "Hey, you notice some other guys are getting fired?" It's like going up to there's been like your neighbor got shot in his driveway, and you're like, go to the other neighbor, "Hey, did you notice Ted got shot the other day?" Like, what does that have to do with me? Why are you asking me
that? What are your
that?
thoughts on Ted? What are your thoughts on Ted? Do you think is that just life in this neighborhood?
If they ask every week about other coaches that are being let go, it would be the best. It's like if you know your buddy's wife is cheating on him and you're always asking him questions about people that he may have known who've had their wives cheat on him.
Judy was stepping out on Tom over there.
Yeah,
Did you
just
hear
see
about
that?
that?
What would you do if that happened to you?
Yeah. I'm saying, obviously, I'm not even going to bring that up. It's not happening to you.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you again, Keith. Did you hear about Jan and Roger? Jan's out there cheating. Well, you brought this up last week with Ted.
I also like that he turns it back around to, hey, if the AP fires you, those volatile AP sports writer jobs.
Yeah. Every 18 months, you're having to recycle those guys. They never stay in
Look
the same
around
place.
yourself, buddy. Don't worry about my job. You check you.
Again, I think it also
What's your buyout?
Every time we see Napier, man, it's like is he galvanizing that fan base?
He can't be.
There's nothing. I mean, I know the product on the field is all that matters, but God, he's pretty darn unlikable in those press conferences.
He's tough. Ben, Coach 3.
Hey, guys, speaking of getting fired, it's not looking good for our guy Dave Aranda. They lost 59-25 to Kansas State, and this was an interesting soundbite to me because it's like he's almost in on the joke at this point. With this.
I thought the energy to start, like I say, was good. I thought that you would have liked to have a stop on that first drive. I thought there was a bunch of third downs, and a lot of those were the paper cuts we talked about. And then offensively to get back and to run the ball and to score and do all that, I thought was really strong. And I thought it was good. It's there was an intentional effort to have energy, guys, because it's hard when you've had the season that we've had and the record and the score is what it is. That's always difficult to have. But the guys knew that they mattered, and the the words they say and the noise they make and the touch they have means something. And so that you could see guys trying. So, I mean, I appreciate that, that they were trying to do that.
Besides the noise they make, the touch they have?
The touch they had, yeah.
What is what? This is getting weird.
It's been weird.
It's been weird, but we're now, you're right. Ben, he's in on the joke. Like, he's just saying things. Those
are words.
Non sequitur, just like whatever.
The touch they had doesn't make sense really under any context. What does he mean?
Their existence matters despite the losses.
Right. I think that, Dave sees the world and the team as like one big organism.
Yeah, okay.
And so every action, every touch, every grunt, every groan, if somebody sighs when they're tying their shoes, like that all affects each other. So they know that all matters.
Effect, Ira.
Yeah. So I think that's what Dave's trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Some people would say it's really more about blocking and tackling. But
those people aren't as worldly as Dave Aranda.
They're not part of the Baylor.
Everything's connected.
The Baylor football program sees the world a little differently, Ira. They're not Neanderthals that only care about like points and wins and losses. And
he wants you to know that just because we stink and just because we got beat by 50 again doesn't mean these kids aren't human beings and that they don't matter.
They're never going to stop making noises. That's the thing you've got to understand about Baylor football players.
We need the right noises at the right times.
Their touch matters. Their breath matters. Everything about them.
Yeah,
their musk, their smell, just the way you smell them when you walk into the locker room.
When they're breathing, I think about them.
Yeah, yeah, and they're always breathing. It's like Ira said, it's one big organism.
I'm going to say we're down to 2 more Dave Aranda.
I think that might have been our last one.
Really? Yeah.
I mean,
I want an Aranda shirt for next year when we do Coach Speak. We should all wear. We have Dave Aranda Day.
He might end up somewhere, right?
Oh, he'll be a DC somewhere.
You sure? They just
somewhere.
Give him 59.
They're giving up 60, Ira.
Somewhere. I'm not saying he's going back to LSU.
Like a local high school.
We'll see. We'll see.
Even then, that high school's got to have a press conference once every couple of weeks. They're going to be. He's going to be interviewed.
Ben's got to seek it out.
Yeah, you're going to have to, Ben.
There needs to be. We do have some Christian colleges. Could we have like a 70s yoga, meditation, life, spiritual college football team?
Like a Montessori football program?
And he could be the coach there.
He'd be awesome there. Big picture stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we got now?
I like that he slipped in the I appreciate that in there.
He did.
You got it in. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched Penn State and Michigan, but it was some ugly football, particularly on Penn State's side. And James Franklin was questioned about his 2-point conversion decisions.
This is fantastic.
Interesting exchange.
2-point conversions. The first one, why chase points in the second quarter when you don't know where the score is going to be in the fourth? The second one, why not make it a 1-score game and keep your team alive with an extra point?
Yeah, again, very similar answer is we felt like points were going to be hard to come by. We were down by 4. We wanted to put ourselves in a position to get it back to a field goal game. Again, those were all the numbers we worked through from an analytics standpoint. As a staff, everybody was comfortable with, thought it was the right thing to do. Obviously, we didn't pick it up.
The second one. What about the second one? Not kicking an extra point.
Yeah, for the same reason.
James.
I don't understand the logic there. You're making an 8-point game. You keep your team alive.
Okay, you don't agree with it. I'm just telling you that's the decision.
I didn't think the answer had anything to do with the second one. The first one I understand.
Yeah, we're trying to get back. We're trying to get points. We felt like points were going to be hard to come by. We wanted to get it back.
Well, there's 2.5 minutes left in the game at that point.
Dave, I've answered your question.
I don't think you did.
You're badgering the witness. The judge is hammering the gavel. You're badgering the witness.
Yeah, watch yourself, counselor.
I am
Counselor,
so
watch
proud
yourself.
of that reporter. He's my new favorite reporter, not named Corey or Ira. I'm telling you right now, that guy is 100% correct. And James didn't answer the question and knew damn well he wasn't answering the question. That's second.
So for the people that were smart and did not watch that football game, at least until that point. So what they're down 9, he goes for 2 to cut it to 7.
Yes, but if he kicks the extra point, they're down 8. It's a one.
It's still a 1-possession game. They don't get it, so now they're down 9 with 2.5 minutes to go.
The game's over as soon as they don't get it. There was never a reason to do that, and that reporter knows that. And when he says we wanted to get it back. We were chasing, we knew we were chasing.
Points are hard to come by. Points, yeah.
What do you?
I also don't really understand the first one. The first one, they're down 14.
The first one was dumb also, yeah.
They're down 14
Neither of them are
3.
smart.
Yeah.
You can live with the first one because it's the second quarter, and I wouldn't have done it, but okay. That second one, he doesn't give him a real answer. That's why he only addresses the first part. He's just hoping that he'll gloss over the second one, and the reporter refused to gloss over it. He's like, wait, that doesn't apply to the second one.
Yeah, the chasing points thing early is more of a philosophical thing.
Yep.
I mean, to Corey's point, like it's not the smarter thing to do, but you could at least maybe make some sort of argument that in the flow of that game, I felt like I had to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
The second one's just complete moronic. But you could tell that reporter also, this was not like a one-off. There's maybe some relationships that have gone awry there.
Well, doesn't James say, I've answered your question, Dave? Like,
And
then Dave's like,
Dave, we going to keep doing this? Dave, we got to keep doing this. And that did not sound like the same reporter that criticized him 2 months ago for not throwing the ball downfield.
I like Dave. I'm finding Dave. He's solid.
The last thing about that is, though, so then he fired his OC the next day that day or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't see his press conference or hear his comments, but I was told he said like he wasn't happy with the game plan. It didn't put his quarterback in position to succeed or whatever. And it's like, where were you all week?
You're the head coach.
I mean, were you not in those meetings? And you're an offensive guy. Like you didn't just show up on Saturday and find out, wait a minute, this is what we're running. Why aren't we running the? Yeah. I mean, very strange.
The whole thing is strange, and going for 2 is bizarre. And then, he could have just said, "I screwed it up," but the coaches rarely do that. There's no reasoning to not want to keep it a 1-score game right there.
There's none. And the reporter was right to follow up with it because he didn't give him a real answer. But also, James did that because he knows that's the final play, right? Like, I got to fire these guys because I'm next. I can't fire myself. That's it. That's all. It's a final desperation act. Ben, what do we got?
Oklahoma State has been one of the weirdest teams in college football this season. After coming off that win over Oklahoma, a 45-3 ass kicking from a not very good UCF team. Mike Gundy, though, was not making any excuses in the postgame. You got to love this from Mike, our guy Mike Gundy.
Sideline report that y'all didn't have all your rain gear or something. I don't know how much stock did you put into that, or what the rain did to change you guys' plan.
A report of what?
I guess there was a sideline report that you guys didn't have all your rain gear. I don't know if that's even true or not.
I wouldn't even know what that for the players.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I don't even know what rain gear is. Honestly, I don't even know what they're talking. Maybe they're talking about for us. I don't know. We don't put the players in anything different.
Y'all weren't missing anything though, were you?
Not that I know of. We were missing coaching.
There you go.
No rain gear. I don't know anything about that.
What's that even mean? What would that mean? What would that even mean? Rain gear on the sideline.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's just a desperation question. Like, I don't really have anything. Is there
trying to give him an out maybe? Like, hey, were you guys fighting some adversity that UCF wasn't fighting? Because they probably had their rain gear.
Like what? And what kind of question is that? Period. If you ever watched a football game, football players are wearing pads. That's what they're wearing.
Yeah, but when they come to the sideline, maybe. Yeah, when they come to the sideline, maybe they put on a parka, and then like they're not so wet when they go back out.
Like it's the 70s. Yeah, like Johnny Unitas would take off his parka to go play.
What in the world?
Joe Namath's over there. It is.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette.
I like my man that would be awesome though. By the way, if players still did that, they got their raincoat on, they're smoking their heaters. Yeah. Time to get back in there, boys.
I also love Gundy where he knows where the guy's going and he's like missing something. He's like, yeah, were you missing? He's like missing coaching, missing some players, missing the team that kicked Oklahoma's ass. I don't know where those guys went.
Yeah,
dude, 45-3 to UCF. After beating Oklahoma. This Oklahoma State team is crazy. They got blown out at home by South Alabama and then rattled off like 6 straight wins.
And in the middle, almost won the Big 12 and then go get crushed by UCF. That's nuts.
It's all weird. Ben, next.
Hey, I've got to insert some Jim Harbaugh into the program. What do you guys say?
All right.
Buckle up.
Enthusiasm unknown to mankind. I wonder, and your team this week talked about this galvanizing them, bringing them together. I wonder, Can you tell us just sort of how you feel? Have you ever felt
looks like he still works out.
enthusiastic, or
Oh, he does.
What are your emotions?
Just really proud. I know I said it. First team meeting, and I know I talked about it here. Moses had 90 leaders. How many do we need?
That's right.
Answer was we need more than 90, and we've got that. We've got a team full of leaders, future leaders, that have already been galvanized. I mean, they're really already on a mission. The mission last year was a happy mission. You know, this year has been even more than the wins. You know, it's a mission of faith. It's a mission of speaking truth to power. It's a mission of
truth to power.
playing
Michigan.
for each other as a band of brothers.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus, this is ridiculous.
It's a mission,
This is
and I see our guys, and they're strong. They're walking upright and innocent, and
They're innocent.
Upright.
just taking care of business. The one-track mind. I'm so thankful for that. That our team has been that's resonated so much. Just wake up, take care of business, go to sleep, wake up the next day, take care of business again.
This guy's loathsome. It's impossible.
Yeah, Coach, can you talk a little bit about specifically where you watched the game, your reactions during the game? It sounds like you're raspy, but the next question is your level of frustration with not being able to be on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know what I have. Some kind of virus or something. Trainer told me, but I'm not sick. Feel great. Got a tremendous workout in today. Thank you, Coach Sean Lockwood, for that.
Never sick.
I'm the iron wall that viruses bash against and shatter. But yeah, something's going on there.
Ben, can you pause for a second, Ben? So I love the fact that Michigan, particularly this guy, but Michigan as a whole, have turned this into, and he said this team is speaking truth to power. They've turned this into their persecution.
Yeah.
When they've literally, I mean, there's no doubt. Nobody has any question about the fact that they have been outright cheating to the point where every other coach is ripping them.
They fired the guy.
Yeah.
What did they fire him for?
In addition, he was suspended before the year even started for having been busted and lying to the NCAA repeatedly, despite being caught red-handed for other infraction. He's never there because he's always suspended, but it's everybody else's fault, and they're being persecuted.
But he's also I am convinced now. I know we've had our fun with him. This is a character. He's
for
playing.
sure.
I'm an iron wall that virus is back. That was the final straw. I'm like, okay, he's playing a character. He might be doing an impression of his high school coach back in the 80s. Like I have no idea who he's like. Chris Farley used to do that. That Van down by the river guy was his high school coach.
Mm-hmm.
This might be who Harbaugh's. Maybe his dad was like this.
Well, it's
he's
also
just paying homage to his dad.
It's also convenient as a way to deflect at this point because I think
just be weird
because he goes on in the video, which we can play a little bit of it or not, but yeah, I mean he just goes on to just be complete. He starts talking about his chickens and why he loves his chickens and their mindset. And
no, I don't want to hear any more from Harbaugh. It's impossible. He's the worst. So yeah, you're speaking truth to power. All your guys are innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. Well, I believe that. I mean,
it's not. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's not him. I mean, it's not them. But stop being a martyr. Stop pretending like the world is out to get. Everybody hates Michigan just randomly for no reason, and they all hate me. And my kids are wonderful, and this is wrong. And we're just going to singularly focus on what we're trying to do, which is change the world with a bunch of leaders.
Somebody asked me the other day. They're like, "Isn't this is a bad precedent to do this before the investigation's over to suspend him?" I'm like, imagine what evidence they have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody ever does that, especially with a team in the college football playoff. This was they did it to themselves.
Well, that's the Big Ten's punishment. The NCAA hasn't even come down yet.
Right.
I mean,
anyway.
We're all with you, gang. We're all with you.
Jim,
Michigan against the world. I hope the Wolverines shock the world. And nobody believes in them now. Nobody believes in them now.
Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, let's go from one character to another. How about it? Jim Harbaugh to Deion Sanders. He was asked about some decisions to punt in the most recent game for Colorado.
A lot of 4th and 2 punts near midfield.
How you doing, sir? 4th and 1s in the second half, one in the third quarter and one after the third one that Brian asked about. You opted to punt on both of those. From your perspective, with the way the game was going, what was the rationale behind playing it safe there?
What if you don't get those?
That's
What
one way to
happens?
look at
The
it.
other team gets momentum. They go down to score. Now you saying, "Oh my God, he should have." You guys, you gonna second guess every darn thing. I got it. I'm at practice every day. I know these young men. I'm on the headsets. I hear the calls. I know what's transpiring right there. I know the feeling and the mood of the team. Just so happens, I think we punted the ball to the 2, and then we held them, and they had to punt. What happened after that? We scored. Why you didn't say nothing about that? I think that was a pretty good decision, wasn't it? In my favor, right? Can we start off with that, about that great decision you made, Coach? I don't need you to slap me on my back because I'm good because my arms can reach back there. But I really just want you to understand these decisions are based on knowledge. We're not guessing. They're based on what we do in practice and the situations we have in practice. I have situations in practice that I will say 4th and 1 on this yard line. Now, if we don't get it consecutively, what do you think I'm going to do in the game? That's what I did.
Surely he gets it when it's 4th and 1 in practice against that defense.
Yeah,
I mean, they ought to get it every effing time.
They should always be going for it.
Yeah.
Have you seen his offensive line? I don't know. That's the 4th and 1, 4th and 2 midfield stuff is always the one place where I do agree with him is that, it's going to be second guessed either way. And I don't know the specifics about that game. Was it like a back and forth high scoring game? I'm assuming.
It was a good game. Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I guess, but again, if the end result is like, you can criticize it in the moment, but if that is what happened, if it ended up being punted inside the 5, then they get the ball back and score, I probably don't ask that question.
I probably don't ask that question. Normally, if you watch a Colorado game, there are plenty of opportunities to second guess the things that you're seeing, as opposed to that very specific incident, which may have worked out in Colorado's favor. Just watch any Colorado game. They make a ton of mistakes.
Yes. Well, and they lost the game.
Yes.
So
Again.
nobody was patting them on the back too much. They lost another game. That's 5 in a row they've lost, I think.
I do.
6 in a row.
We have
6
reached
in a row. Apologies.
We have reached the point now where the reporters in the room feel okay at least asking questions about football, because the first 3 or 4 weeks it was obviously it was everything that they touched turned to gold. And so there was never even going to be, even when they made dumb decisions or mistakes in those first few games, nobody was ever going to bring it up because Colorado was the big story.
But also, it's going to be interesting to track now. Like Deion doesn't seem very thick-skinned. Let's put it that way. And he's been coaching now for 2.5 years. At Jackson State, he lost 1 game or 2 games the whole time, and he revolutionized that program. So he was never getting questioned. Now he's lost 6 in a row. He's getting questioned a little bit more, like Ira said.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's going to handle this coaching, the criticism that comes with coaching, all that well. Now, they might be awesome next year. Who knows? But, man, that's not a great look to start out your first year at Colorado where you're already barking back after just losing your 6th straight game.
And firing your OC out of nowhere.
Well, but it's not that. It's how you handle the press and how you handle your fan base that's watching those press conferences. And it doesn't look like he's going to handle criticism well, which could lead to some uglier stuff down the line.
Well, I was wondering about that. I was wondering about that from the very beginning. I thought that was going to be one of the big challenges for him. And up until this point, he's done pretty good. But I did watch his press conference. I don't think it was this one. I think it was the one from the midweek on Tuesday or Wednesday. And he made a comment about how, like, we're not used to this. And, like, he goes, everywhere I've ever been, we've always won. I coached in high school for this many years. We never lost. I coached at Jackson State. We never lost. And it's like, yeah, man, what's maybe different about this situation? It's not to say you coached at 4 Power 5 schools and had success everywhere. You were at a high school where you got to recruit the best players in the country, and Jackson State where you're playing in HBCUs where you had the best players in the country. Right. How do you not see that this is not? It's going to be a little bit different ball game.
Seems a little disingenuous, Ira.
I honestly don't think I don't think he's being insincere. I think he really is like, what's going on? Like, why is this not working?
Sure. Yeah. Ben, next.
Hey, we've got a newcomer to the program, Vanderbilt coach Clark Leah. I think I pronounced that right. He was asked about rotating 2 quarterbacks, and neither quarterback was really able to get into rhythm. Pay attention to the end of his answer, though. I like what he highlights about one of his quarterbacks that played.
I think Walt gives us is an element of quarterback run, which can lighten the box. But I don't look at our performance today and say that necessarily it falls on Ken's shoulders. I think right now it's, hey, how are we designing wins? How are we executing those wins on the field? And I appreciated the fact that when he was in there, he took care of the ball and gave us a chance to punt. We were able to get him pinned a couple times, and again, when you do that, you create some advantages for yourself as a team. We didn't play well enough to take advantage of those.
What? I've never heard that before. I literally have never. I've been watching this stuff my whole life. I've never heard that.
Just need you to give us a chance to punt, guys.
Please, son.
Need you to give us a chance to punt.
We're not looking for you to move the chains.
Deion should have been like, ask Clark Lee what a good job we're doing. I'm creating opportunities to punt out here.
We're punting all the time. 4th and 1, 4th and 4. Don't matter to me. We're punting.
Hey, the 5-5 Buffalo Bills are just pleading to Josh Allen every Sunday. Can you give us a chance to punt, dude?
Please give us a chance to punt.
You're killing us with all these picks, dude. Come on.
That's just the ultimate. That's the ultimate Vanderbilt football quote of all time.
The saddest thing ever. I mean,
I love it.
That's so sad to have that mindset.
You just give us a chance to punt, please.
Which one of you guys will give us a chance to punt and not just turn it over to the other team?
Yeah.
Can one of you do that?
That's a tough quarterback room. When you're a coach and you're standing before them, you're like, now listen, guys, on this play, we could lighten the box with your legs. If you want to run here, we've got opportunities, and that might set it up where we can punt.
That's our secret weapon. We want to get the ball on Teddy's foot. Yeah, that's all we're here for. We
Have
want
you
to give Teddy a chance.
Punt? That's what I'm saying. He's not bad. We should.
Let's highlight. Let's accentuate the positive, gang. It's 3rd and 8, Ken. Ken, it's 3rd and 8. What are you trying to do here? Well, get a first. No. You're not trying to get a first down.
No.
Shut up, Ken.
I'm gonna stop you right there, Ken.
It's ridiculous. I always want to bench you for even starting to make that sentence. We want about 4th and 4. Maybe we can get him to jump off sides when we line up to punt.
Yep.
But for God's sake, Ken, give us a fucking chance to punt. Let's go, Commodores, on 3.
Do you have the A on your helmet? Are you Alabama? Are you trying to score touchdowns? I don't think so.
Yeah, right. Look where you chose to come play football, son.
We're the punt capital of the world.
You punt and live to fight another day in the classroom.
That's right.
What you do. You
gotta be a
it's not out
doctor.
here on this gridiron.
Those 17 fans didn't come here to watch you fail on 4th down.
No.
They want to see
Get your
Teddy
damn
punt.
engineering degree and be done with it.
They want to see that parabola off of his foot. That's what they came here for.
That's what Nashville's all about.
Good one, Ben. I like that. That was good. Give me the next guy.
Hey, what makes it even better, guys, is Vanderbilt's punter, Matt Hayball, has over 11,000 career yards.
No, he
punting.
doesn't.
That
No,
is
he doesn't.
NCAA record.
Are you kidding?
Over 11,000.
Get to know that name.
I've got the the stat here.
I mean,
this
how
was
many?
actually
Corey, you're our math guy. How many miles of punts is that?
Is that
8
like
miles?
2 miles?
7 miles? No, because it's yards. I mean, there's like
So that's 33,000
yards.
So that's 6 miles. That's over 6 miles of punts.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
Oh, Matthew is. I mean, I hope he's got an NIL deal.
He's punted like a whole 10K. Like that's crazy. He's punted
many
more
years
than a
from now, he'll be at a bar, like a sports bar, watching a game, and 2 fans will be talking about whether they should punt or not. Let me tell you something about punting, guys.
Yeah. Funny story. You bring that up.
He should get one of those marathon stickers for his car.
Yeah, it's just
with this
it should be
punting
a
guard.
picture of an extended leg with ball going in the air like that.
Like a 26.1.
Yeah. Next,
Dude, that's
Ben.
crazy. 11,000 punting yards is nuts.
Hey, we got to talk about some water at some point.
No, we don't.
No. It's after.
I
this
didn't even
clip.
bring it up.
It's after this clip.
All right, after this.
I had already planned it.
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah,
Hafley,
Sure.
I think I owe Jeff an apology. I said Boston College wasn't going to be very good, like on our second episode. They've actually been pretty solid.
Yep.
And Jeff's had to deal with some interesting questions like this one throughout the season, too.
I think it wears on the kids a little bit to play from behind as much as you guys do?
We haven't really been far behind in the last 5 weeks. I mean, so explain a little bit more.
Well, you
Pause
go back,
Ben, real quick.
You were.
So I actually sent this one to Ben because I enjoyed it. So just to set up, they'd won 5 straight games before, or 6 straight games, 5 or 6 straight games before they just lost to Virginia Tech the other day.
They got blown the hell out. Yeah.
So the guy's asking him, like, do you think it's been wearing on your team that you've been behind in all these games? And so he's just like, well, he's like, could you explain what you're talking about? Because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Watch his face here. Is the guy's trying to explain where he's referencing? He goes back to the Holy Cross game, which was like two months ago.
That was before the Florida State game. Yeah.
Hafley's face is awesome because he's kind of got that, oh, tell me more kind of look. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
We're down to 21-7 to Northern Illinois and to Virginia, and you were behind today. And it just seems like your second halves are usually a lot better than your first.
Well, if you look at the last really month and a half of football, you're going back to week 1. I mean, we're a different team now, so I don't want to make excuses. We got beat today. They played well. We had a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. I'm not searching for excuses in this one. We got beat. They beat us. Their players executed at a very high level. We made costly self-inflicted mistakes and did not play well. I'm not searching for an excuse. We're part of that as coaches too. But I'm not. There's no excuses.
Well, that wasn't an answer to the not great question. That was no answer even close to it.
But that wasn't. But he wasn't.
You can't give an answer.
His point. The question was built on a faulty premise.
Yeah.
The question was how hard is it for your team to always be fighting from behind? And he's like,
we're not.
We haven't been in that
well, that's
situation.
not true. They beat Georgia Tech. They were behind in the second half. They beat Virginia. They were behind in the second half. They beat UConn. They were behind in that game. Like, they have been coming from behind in those games. I don't know that it's the narrative, though. And the guy didn't ask the question very well. But even if that was, they have been behind. They were behind by 3 touchdowns to Florida State.
Yeah, that almost won that game. But that's in the win streak, though. They've won 6 straight games is my point. The premise that your team has been beaten down by being always behind.
A horrible
doesn't
premise.
make sense when you.
But they do get behind in every game, and
Well,
he
that's
didn't
fine.
address that. He
But
went to, like, we got beat. It's like, yeah, we know you got beat. Number one, we are the only 3 people in America watching that press conference. Maybe 4.
Well,
Sorry,
now-
Ben, I'm
now-
including you. Nobody watches Boston College post-blowout loss press conferences.
Well, now
other than us.
now there's probably
There's
about 10,
thousands.
10
You're
10
right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. These coaches better get on the. Well, Jimbo doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Dave Aranda, you got one more probably in you. But these other coaches, man, you better start minding your P's and Q's.
I think my man wanted to say, let me help you here.
Yes.
We're going to a bowl.
We're going to a bowl.
That was the thing. Like, I mean, again, it's just that's my point. Is like that's the whole idea of it was like, you know, how downtrodden they are. They've literally they like Ben said at the beginning, they were 1-2 or 1-3 or something, and they've rattled off all these wins.
They were awful, and he's got them going to a bowl, which is all you can ever hope to do at Boston College. And so he's kind of like right off the bat, like, dude, we're at Boston College. I'm taking us to a bowl. What are you getting at here?
I wonder if the premise was like, you guys had come back the last 4 or 5 weeks. You get down again to Virginia Tech, and they're like, I'm just not doing it this time.
Well,
was that what the guy's thought process was? We're not doing it again, Coach. We're tired of this.
Yeah, that poor kid. He didn't know what he wanted to ask. He asked a question, just asked a question. He didn't have a real question. He just stutter-effed his way through that one. And Hafley's like going, and it's embarrassing. The whole thing is bad. By the way, you know what's not bad? Artezia Water.
There you go.
Check out Artezia Water, buddy. That'll help cleanse the palate. You'll be all set. Maybe you clear your head and ask a good question when you go to work after a good tall glass of Artezia Water. Go to arteziawater.com. By the way, again, if you watch Coach Speak and you go to Artezia Water or you call them and say, you know what? These guys won me over. I want to get the water service at my house. They'll say, good, and you get a discount for mentioning Coach Speak. Bam, just like that. So why wouldn't you do it? It's great. It's locally sourced. It's right here, pure, fresh, delicious, and cheaper than what you would get anywhere else because you watch Coach Speak.
And great customer service, great people. And arteziawater.com is the website, ARTEZIA water.com. And there's a lot more information on the site about how how good the water is, where it comes from, how pure it is, and again, about their customer service. And like Jeff said, you'll get the first month free if you mention Coach Speak, either on the website.
I undersold it, didn't I? It's not just a discount. You get a whole damn month for free.
When you in your request mention Coach Speak, or you can call. There's a phone number on their website as well. Call them and mention Coach Speak, and you get the deal.
I'm a great
ambassador.
I get great testimony ambassador. I'm a great ambassador for this because half the time I'm not in Tallahassee where I have Artezia Water, and Brady was there this weekend, and he's a loyal customer now. He loved it. It's the coldest, best water he's ever had.
It's freezing cold.
That's a direct quote. It is absolutely freezing cold.
Freezing.
And then when I come back up to Atlanta for half the week, and I have to get it out of a stupid refrigerator, it's not even close to the same
you got
thing.
This crappy faucet water not getting it done.
Ridiculous. Yeah. I miss Artezia Water when I'm not in Tallahassee.
Well, soon maybe they'll take over the world. Trevor and the guys will take over the whole world.
Come on, Trevor.
Right now, it's more North Florida, South Georgia, South Alabama. Go to the website and check it out and see if they service your area.
All right, we got the final two here, Ben. Let's make it happen.
Hey, just one more. Don't want to get your hopes up, but I will provide an update, though, from last week's show. Sean Elliott, our guy, we thought that things were going to be good at Georgia State. They lost 42-14 to App State. Unfortunately, no press conference. I think the reporters were too afraid to go, maybe.
Yeah.
I would be.
That definitely works out.
So screaming the paint off the walls didn't work.
Or just sweating everywhere like a St. Bernard shaking his
somewhere there is a drenched towel begging for mercy.
James Madison
just sitting there incessantly.
James Madison knocked off those mighty Yukon Huskies 44-6 too, by the way, with those all-world tackles that
that's right. Yeah.
The William and Mary assistant coach that's there now that didn't do anything. Okay.
Didn't know. I got 6 points.
Yeah.
We'll close with some praise. Chip Kelly probably going to get fired soon, but he's taking it in stride there at UCLA.
Hang in there, Chip.
I'm a big picture guy. In fact, you gave me the nickname. Big picture wise, how do you feel you've done at UCLA?
Again, I'm not a big picture guy. My focus is on USC. So,
but I am. So I'm asking the question.
I think I've done great.
Okay. Based on
your big picture.
What about your small picture?
My small picture is we're focused on this week, and I think that's what you have to do. And I'm not. This isn't just what I do. I think almost every coach that I know is kind of. That's what you focus on. You focus on what you can control, and really we talk about it. And I know you guys snicker when we say it, but it's about having a good Monday, And I think sometimes when you get distracted by looking big picture and trying to reflect back on something, I think that's an issue. When you talk to sports psychologists and people like that, if you're living in the past, or you're worried about the past, or you're anxious about the future, you're wasting 80% of your cognitive bandwidth. You really need to focus on what you can control, and what you can control is really having a good Monday and keeping your players focused and keeping your coaching staff focused on what we have to do. And we have to play a really, really talented football team this week. And they've lost a couple games themselves, but you turn the tape on and you know how talented this football team is that you're playing, and they can explode at any second. So, that's really what's got our attention, what's got our focus.
Do you guys like, as reporters, his effort to circle back with, but I am a big picture guy, and I'm asking the question. You like that approach, boy?
Oh, that was great. That was great, because it was true. He's like, I'm not a big picture guy. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm asking the question. I'm asking you how you think you've done.
I don't know. I don't know enough about UCLA football to know, are we really firing Chip Kelly? Are they that bad? What's the expectation there? I don't know. I'm asking you guys, are they going to get better than Chip Kelly?
I wouldn't think so.
Didn't they lose a ton of guys from last year? I don't know. It's just weird.
I mean, I think it's UCLA, man. I don't know what they're expecting. He's competent. They had a good defense. They have a good defense. They might beat USC. I don't know why you'd fire him to go get – who are you going to go get? Jimbo?
Aranda?
I think the frustration they may have, guys, I just pulled it up because I was uncertain as well. But I will tell you, they got beat by 10 by a god-awful Arizona State team. And the week before that, they got beat by 17. And they scored a grand total in these two games combined of 17 points.
Yeah, that's tough. When you're
what's
Chip
going on
Kelly,
there?
the offensive guru.
They're not. They don't score any points, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's problematic when you're an offensive coach.
They only put up 28 against Colorado.
Yeah, again, there's a lot going on there. They lost 17-7 to Arizona State, and I think what was that final last week on the Arizona?
Oh,
State?
but did you see what Arizona State did? By the way, Kenny Dillingham apparently broke out the swinging gate and had all kinds of he played I think a lot of the game with that formation. Like he had like the offensive linemen outsides and it just went completely unpredictable. And I guess they hit
the white towel, Kenny. Wave the white towel.
I miss Dillingham, man. We need him back. And they're winning. They've won a couple games, man. He's getting the desert to believe in him.
The bamboo's starting to sprout.
Starting to sprout, Jeff. You saw it in Tallahassee. It's happening in Tempe too.
Let's double check that, Corey. I don't think it is. They've won a total of 3 games.
Yeah, but 2 in a row, I think, or 2 out of 3.
They got blown up by like 60 last week. Did they not?
But they did beat UCLA.
You should know. You're betting on all of them.
I didn't bet that. I think they got blown out last week.
I think that, but let me say one thing though. I want to give Chip Kelly a little bit of credit there because he's answering it about as well as he can answer it. And from the standpoint of, man, I can't focus on that. He's not like, he didn't bow up. He didn't shout the guy down. He tried to, get him off of it. But then he's like, look, man, I've got to focus on this team. I can't worry about what happened last week against Arizona State.
So
I don't
last week,
I'm okay with him.
I'm okay with it. By the way, so he did beat UCLA 17-7 the week before when they gave up 55 points to Utah, Corey. They lost 55-3.
Look, man, what are you going to do? It's a slow it's year one. It's a process.
It is a process.
What are you trying to say? They showed some what for coming back the next week.
They did bounce back. That's a good way to look at it, buddy.
Yeah.
The bamboo's happening there.
Kenny should be like, man, have you guys checked on Napier? He's still in the process, and he's a year later.
I'm in year 1 of the process. Come
Why
on.
are you guys here?
Yeah, Napier just gave up 700 yards to a team.
Arteziawater.com. Ben, great job. Corey, Ira, awesome as always. And all of you for watching. We appreciate it. We'll be back with you again. Are we back next week or the week after? Next week's Thanksgiving, boys.
Ooh.
It is Thanksgiving, Ira. It is.
Stay tuned.
I don't think we're doing Coach Speak on Thanksgiving.
We're not doing
Day,
one
guys.
on Thursday. We have to do one before or after, yeah.
Stay tuned, folks. Check the feeds.
It's a great mystery. Could be the week after. We'll
smash
see.
that like button.
Yeah.
Smash it, subscribe.
Does it cost a money to like the video, Corey? Does it cost them anything?
$0.
All right.
$0. So
like it,
smash
pass it
like
around. Tell the world about this great show. And until then, happy Thanksgiving. Be good, everybody. Peace.